is Citlali Rodriguez. I'm a former student, graduated in 2019. Currently, I'm going to Columbia College, Chicago. I'm majoring in American Sign Language Interpretation. I transferred from College of Lake County.
I would say ask as many questions as you mentioned. You can ask the student as many questions as you want, but even any family members that you know that went to college or people that are here at school, I guess too. Try to make connections as fast as you can because it'll help you throughout your career. High school, I was involved in tennis, soccer, National Honor Society, SOMOs, and student government for a little bit. Then in COC, I didn't really do much, but right now in Columbia, I'm involved in my ASL club. It's part of my major. And then I just get involved in whatever other events they have at the school. I wish I knew that it was going to be bigger, so you're gonna have to figure your way around the school. I know for Columbia, there's 7 buildings, so you kind of have to get familiarized with where you're going and make sure you're there on time. And I also wish I had more of a schedule to myself or a list to know this is what I'm doing today, this is what I'm doing tomorrow, because I felt it was just all coming really fast. I didn't know how diverse it was going to be. There was a lot of different people that you saw. There was older people than you or younger people than you. You're just I didn't know that it was going to be the same as high school where you go with your freshman and then your sophomore, you know everybody kind of, but there you meet new faces all the time, which is pretty cool. So I decided to become an interpreter because growing up I always interpreted for my parents in Spanish. So I was I'm gonna try sign language, and there is this counselor that worked at COC, which she had already left COC, but since I talked to her throughout the whole time I was there, she still helped me out. She said, hey, I don't work there, but here's the list of schools, here's what you should do. So she was really helpful. So making those connections right away can be important in the future, because if I didn't know her, she probably would have been oh, I don't want to talk to you. So I did that, and then when I got there, they just had to transfer all of my credits over to the school. At first it was a little bit iffy because they didn't know what to do with my extra electives, but that ended up being a plus for me because it filled up other requirements that were needed for Columbia. And then after that it was just kind of smooth sailing. So it wasn't as hard, it's just you had to contact the right people and get things done before you actually start the semester. I'd say make sure you choose it for yourself because I think the reason I kept wanting to do education, because I graduated from CSC with my associates, the reason I wanted to keep doing this because my parents were you're almost done, you got this, and I felt when I started telling them I want to switch, they were kind of disappointed, upset, and then I realized this isn't for them, this is for me. I need to remember that my career is mine and no one can take it. So yeah, and it just, no matter the time it takes, as long as Marco said, as long as you like it, go for it. For my program, it's really small, so everyone knows each other, but most of the people are white. So whenever I ask about oh, what if I wanted to interpret in Spanish, how would that work with sign language, they don't really know the answers yet, so I'm still kind of figuring it out on my own. Going to events that are really far away from where I am already at school, so that's kind of hard. But once you get to meet the people that are actually that know Spanish in interpreting, you kind of get connected with them, and it feels a little bit better. Since you have to be looking at the person when you're communicating, it's really beneficial when you have less people. So in my program, there's maybe my classes maybe 8 to 12 people per semester, and you know everybody there. So it's kind of nice that you have that support, and if you ever need help with some homework, you know who to ask. They're all in your class. It's not really too many people to ask from, and it's all kind of the same stuff. So it's pretty nice to have a smaller class than a bigger class. You feel the teacher is also more helpful. If you have more questions, they're able to stay after class more. My whole program is kind of my support system because it's really small. The whole floor, you just sign, you can't talk, you're quiet, silence. Your teachers for ASL classes are all deaf, so you kind of get involved within the community more than you would going to a class outside of a program like that. And then all of my interpreting teachers are interpreters still now, so they kind of tell you where they've worked, what experiences they have. If you need support, like with wanting to go interpret for like volunteering, they can provide you with support. They also have like at your last year this thing called practicum, so you're already going out like that whole semester. You're going out getting hours in. So I think just connecting with all of the staff that you have in your program will help you branch out to other people outside of that. So I started at CLC, so I got to stay home with my parents. So I saved a lot of money. I worked at different like part-time jobs, and then going to Columbia, I just had to pay for like my train tickets because I commute over there. I don't stay in the dorms. Um, it was just challenging like for the train part, and then like I didn't get like a full ride, so like I paid like $1,000 a year. So just working at part-time jobs and trying to find a job that like fits to your schedule, because sometimes there's places that they don't want to like understand that you have school. So trying to find a good job. Yeah, that's how I basically saved up my money and stuff. Yeah, so at Columbia, once you get there, they kind of give you like scholarships based off your like GPA or your program. Like if your program has a specific scholarship, they already just add it to you. And then afterwards, like you can just start looking down at their list that they have, which is always like on their website. Sometimes like there's scholarships that no one really applies for, so if you think you're not gonna win, you're probably gonna win because only like 3 people do it sometimes. So I would recommend that. And then there's also like when I started to go to Columbia because I was transferring, I was like I'm gonna need a little bit more money. So at the library here in Round Lake, like the public library, they have like books, like a bunch of books that just have like links that people like filled out for you. You could even do it online. You click on the link, and if you like know how to throw a ball a certain way or something, like they'll give you a scholarship for that. So like there's always a bunch of money that could be given to you, and just take advantage of it.
But I would just say, make sure you have lists ready for you for when you're going to school. Make sure that you're looking into scholarships before starting school so you don't have to pay as much. I think I've only paid like maybe $1,000 every year out of pocket for myself for school. I would say make sure you know what you want to do and how you want to do school. I didn't want to be far away from home, so I commuted, or I'm still commuting to Columbia. But yeah, good luck on your future careers, and take advantage of all the resources you have now and in the future.